Hello and welcome members. JSS Server Project 4 Managing Identities in Azure AD Exercise 2. And you've remembered that in the last video of Project 4 Exercise 1, we discuss stuff, we show you how to create identities, as well as we show you how to use your local Windows PowerShell to run command lines on Azure, and that's enable you to simply use your local PowerShell and just connect that PowerShell with your Azure environment and easily run CLI based command lines to achieve stuff, to do things, to perform, to implement, to manage your environment. So that's quite interesting at this moment. So let's move to the exercise 2 and let me show you the scenario on which we're going to work and address throughout this video. So here we need to review the current license allocation for the tenant, and we're going to modify the company branding for the sign-in page. As you always see that and experience that whenever I try to sign into the JSS, the background, the wallpaper behind the login window changes and it shows JSS. So that's what I did. This is the company branding I did for this JSS platform. And here in this video, you also need to add 3 new users to your security group, and we're going to assign licensing, and we're going to use both the CLI, the command lines, and the GUI methods throughout the video. So let's start with this license allocation for the tenant, and let's modify the company branding. So let's move to our EXI JSS servers, JSS machines, which we are totally using within this JSS project. And let's move towards those machines and the portal, Azure portal. So there you go. This is our VMware ESXi virtual machine. And here, let's open the Azure portal and do some licensing and stuff. So I already opened it for you. So here you can see we have 3 users that are pre-created. And so first let's move to the dashboard and check out the license that are available at the moment. And here's this Azure environment, but here we are logging through the admin center. So what's good for us is to directly log into the portal.azure.com, and it's simple. Just type portal.azure.com, and it required login to redirect you. And here you can see that in the back it is already the company branding we did. So I'm not going to change it, but I will show you how you can change and how you can customize your own company branding. You can paste and you can set whatever the logos, you know, the titles, the symbols that most companies use, and their emblem, you could say their signs. So you can add whatever that represents your organization, your company on the background and somewhere in the login window. So I'm going to skip this authentication method because I'm logging my Azure account from anonymous location, because this VMware hosted machine. So that's why it is asking for this authentication method. Now here, let's open the Azure Active Directory from the top. And here on the Azure Active Directory, once the directory open, under the manage, I will scroll down and just reach to locate the license option under manage. And then we have little things to check. Okay, there's a misunderstanding going with the machine because the mouse, this pointer, is somehow slow as compared to the local experience we had. Okay, so these are licenses. Now here on the licenses, we have no group assignment error found, and if you click to all products, you will start seeing all the licenses that are currently running and going on within your directories. So here we have Azure Directory, Active Directory Premium P2, and assigned only 2 user has been assigned. And then we have the Enterprise Mobility plus Security E5 and the Office 365. So we have all these licenses available within this directory. Right. So once you review all these license assignment, go back to your directory, and here let's click to the company branding. That's the task 1 of this video. Now here let's click to this option because I already customized, and you can see in the sign in page background I set this JSS JavaScript share logo, and you can simply customize it. Like you can remove from here and then browse your local drives, your local locations to select the picture, to select the wallpaper that you really want to add in your Azure environment to just represent your organization. And here you can add the banner logos, and there are lots of stuff. You can add text, sign in page text, which I already added. So that's how you can customize this Azure experience, and just simply do your company branding here in Azure. So once you did that, because I'm not going to change anything, it's on the requirement, it's up to the need. Now here let's assign the licenses to the newly created user that we created in the last project. So click to the user under the manage, and here you will start seeing the list of all the user. So let me click to this one, the JSS JSSP, this one, and once you click on it, here on the left we have this license option. So click to this licenses, and here you don't find any license because we haven't assigned any license to this specific user. So click to the assignment, and here you have the license list. You can simply easily assign any license from here. So we're going to assign the Enterprise Mobility, and then the Azure Active Directory Premium 2, and let's click to save to assign this license to this specific user. So let's click save, and it will take a little time. Alright, so it says what the license assignment failed for the member. So there's something wrong with this new member. Might be this is not in the group, or it is not complied to have the license. So let's check and fix this issue. Now here you can see purchase more licenses or remove license from the user, because we don't have enough licenses within this directory. So no problem, we will go to Azure Active Directory again, and here we're going to do what? Click to the mobility, MDM and MEM, and here the license are already added, and these are the custom domains. Oops, it just opened the custom domain option, which we are not meant to open. So click home, back, and go to the Active Directory, and let's scroll down, and we have another option right now. At the moment we can use another account for this whole project, because somehow we are short of licenses here in this directory. So let us check here that how things goes. Okay, so we have this Microsoft Intune and Intune enrollment. All right, so now these are the lists. These are available licenses, but we are short of Active Directory Premium 2 licenses. So right now I'm going to assign only this one to show you how you can simply assign licenses here in Azure Directory. So I'm selecting this Enterprise Mobility and only doing what, click to save to assign this license. And there you go, the license assignment is succeeded. And this is the very basics and few steps you need to perform to assign licenses to newly created user. So once you're done, let's move to the other stuff that we need to complete in this video. So after performing this activity, try to save this one, and it is already saved, so that's good. Now click to JSS DMV1 and go to the dashboard. Now here, let me show you how you can create groups, security groups, by using this Azure Directory Admin Center. So here, let's click to where? Azure Active Directory, and it's gonna redirect you here. And under manage, you have this group options. So click to groups, and there you're gonna find plenty of groups that we created for learning, for testing purposes. And now we're going to create another one. So it's very simple and basic tasks. So you can easily follow these baby steps to create the group. So type would be security, and the group name this time would be JSS Pro, and the description is the same, JSS Pro, and 0 roles can be assigned to the group. Right now, go with no, and the membership type is assigned, because here's the interesting thing that I mostly discussed on all my Azure videos where we are working on identities, users, and group, that this thing is really fascinating, because once you go with assign, you have the power, you have the rights to assign any user to any group. But when you go with the dynamic user or dynamic device, so here's the Azure kicks in and its features start wondering you, because once you allow this dynamic user or dynamic device, you have a chance, a privilege, and a logical way to define the parameters of the user and create 2 different dynamic groups, or many more as you like and as you required. So once the parameter match with the user will automatically assign to that group. So that's the dynamic feature and dynamics we found in Azure environment, and that's quite interesting. So here, let's go with assign one, and right now don't need to select any member. So this is the way you can use this Azure Active Directory Admin Center to create security group. And now there's a twist comes, and that's what we're going to use the PowerShell, the CLI, the command lines to create the security group. So let's move to that one. Now let's launch the Windows PowerShell, and don't forget to launch it as administrator, because if you don't log in with the administrator privilege, you will not able to connect with the Azure services. And let's connect it to the Azure service. So we're going to run the command connect dash ms online service. So here's this command does what, it will connect you to your Azure. And here what you need to do is to type your tenant account. So Ali at gssdmv2.microsoft.com, and then proceed. And here's the password time. So let's type password. So after providing the credentials, you are now able to use your local Windows PowerShell to do things on Azure Active Directory. And if you do the same on the Azure environment, you need to have some subscription to use the command line, the CLI environment on Azure. But what I recommend you that it is best to connect your local PowerShell to your Azure and use your admin account to configure things, to run commands, to achieve things. Now here we are successfully connected, and it's time to create the security group by using the Windows PowerShell. So I'm not into typing this whole command by myself because there are a lot of spellings and things you need to type, but you can just see this command and you will easily find such commands on internet, and there are certain different platforms where you can easily find the command lines. It's not so difficult to find these command lines, but the really thing you need to know is to understand what you're doing, so you can easily modify all those command lines to your requirement, to your need. So here you can see the commands start with new MS online group. So we're about to create the group, and the name we're going to suggest for this group is right now is Contoso Sales. So I'm going to change it like JSS underscore project, right? And the description I'm going to provide here is for learning purposes, for testing, for studies, whatever you can type. So I'm going to type for learning purpose, and then press enter to execute. So there you go. The group is successfully created, and the description is added, and the type is mentioned because you created a security group. So that's how you can simply, by using the command lines, by just typing few letters and pressing enter, you can eliminate the whole mouse things, the whole clicking things, whole GUI things. So that's how you can create group by using the command lines on PowerShell. Now, to validate, to see whether the group is created and how it's look like and how many groups you already have, so you can run the command get msol group. So it's gonna list down all the groups you have in your Azure environment, and here you can see these are the groups, and this GSS Pro, the one we just created, is also mentioned here, and the type is mentioned, the description is there. So this PowerShell enables you to simply explore your Azure environment, Azure experience, and use your simple local PowerShell to manage whole Azure directories and all the stuff. Now here let's define some variable, the thing we discuss when we are discussing the dynamic groups, that how you can simply add variables and assign variables to the group parameters, and then it will assess the user with the variable, and if there's a match occurs, so it will automatically assign that user to any dynamic user group or the computer group. So let me press Ctrl V. Now here you can see that I'm defining this variable with the Contoso sale, but I'm going to change it with my own aliases. So it's gonna be like JSS underscore project, enter. So this is now the variable, and in the same way we have another commands to set some more variables. Alright, so here by typing this get-msol group, we're gonna find and we're gonna get the object ID of our group, and here you can see that under the display name we have this JSS project group, the one we just created. And now it's time to use the command line to assign member to the group, and it's quite interesting because here you're going to need only the object ID to type and mention against the command, against the code, and it will assign the member to that group. It will make the specific member a part of that group. So here by typing this get-msol group, you're gonna find what the group and its object ID. In the same way, if you use another command, which is what the get-ms user, so here you definitely find the object ID, but here right now at the moment this command is not displaying the object ID, and we need to fix that thing. But rather right now we're not going to fix this command thing or gonna search another command. I will show you a simple method for that. Just switch to your Azure portal, and here find out the any member that have the license, that have the privilege. So let's say if I go to the JSS P2, this one user, and copy its object ID from there, and then I open the PowerShell because I need to paste all these group IDs here. So here you can see that the first part, like after this group object, this is the ID, the group object ID of our group, the JSS project. You can see and match. And the last part, we need to mention the user object ID. So let me remove this previous one to add this new one and press enter, and there you go. Within a few seconds it just completed the process. And now if you want to verify whether this new user became the part of this new group, this JSS project group, so you have a command to see the status. Now here's the command. You need to mention after the group object ID the object ID of your group, and it will show you the data. And once you press enter, you will find that all the members that are just added or you added in that group are listed here. So here you can see the my user is added in this group, and another one, JSS P2. So that was the intention, and that's what we need to show in this whole project video. And it's quite interesting and fascinating to use your local PowerShell to access your Azure environment and run command lines to enable things, to disable things, to manage the whole Azure directory from your local PowerShell. It's quite interesting. I really like that feature. So in this way, by taking these baby steps, these basic simple steps, you will definitely learn a lot, and you will definitely explore the whole command list and whole set of command lists to manage your Azure environment. So that's it for this project video. And like I said in each and every video, to learn real world IT skill, log on to jobskillshare.org. Thanks for watching.